Good morning, my friends, and welcome to Friday. Sorry, I need to start my stream a little bit earlier today. It's crazy Friday, but TGIF, we made it to the weekend. And it's a weekend I think that many of us really need. This week has been really weird for kind of funky energies. I've had lots of clients who are like, what's going on this week? Not a lot, but apparently a lot. We're just reacting and kind of, well, not reacting, but I think the thinning of the veil is hitting some people because the last couple of years, Mercury retrograde has been kind of hanging around it. And we've had a chance now to get off Mercury retrograde, stabilize, and then see that shift. We had a little bit of a plateau, and now we're seeing this shift. So that's kind of my take of it. Not to mention the people around us who are being impacted by it, and then reacting to that. So it's all about a reaction. It'd be good if I could drink. A chain reaction, that's not helpful. So today I want to look at next week. I always like to give you guys a couple of days to figure out what next week's going to look like and how you can best tackle it and get your tools all in an order, get your ducks in a row, if you will. So it's crazy, but we're looking at the 16th to the 22nd. Where's October going? It's crazy fast. Next weekend, we're looking at, so the 23rd, we have Scorpio coming in. Next week, we don't have a lot of energetical stuff. I know we're having 2 more planets go direct at the end of the month here. I don't have my list. I used to have a list right by my hand. I took it somewhere else, and it's in my car because a client needed it. Anyway, we are going to have a couple more go direct, which is going to help with some of that energy. But my gut is saying right around Scorpio, and then another one was right before Halloween. Okay, so this week, now if you saw, this is my new baby. This is the Tarot of the Divine. I am really enjoying it. I have not a chance to read, but I do have at hand, should I need reference to, this is the book. This deck is all about mythology, folklore, that type of stuff. I know some of it, but this deck taps into a lot more than just the standard. Like there's African mythology, there's Egyptian, there's all sorts. So that book I think I'm going to need if I should want to reference it. That said, I've done a number of readings with this deck, and I just tell the person if that's something that's, if this scene is interesting to you, I can tell you what it is, and you can go check it out. I haven't needed it in a reading, not yet. However, it's still early. Then I have paired, this is the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. This is a deck created by, I believe he's Japanese fellow. And this has the kind of anime style. And the reading I did for my supporters, it's spot on. The 2 of them were working amazing together. So fantastic pick. Loving it. Let's get into this. What can my friends expect from the week of, October 16th through the 22nd. It's the second time I've almost said August. It's a little chilly for August. Yeah. I think a lot of us still want to be in August. September was somewhat of a blur. We're now into the middle of October. Crazy speed that we're coming into. And it's not going to get any better. As we get into more into the fall, things will speed up even faster. The 4 of Swords. This is such a unique take on the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords talks about rest and rejuvenation. It's usually the one sword card that people are like, okay, I can deal with that one. The Ace and the 1. This 4 talks more about kind of that feeling that we're having and why we need that rest and rejuvenation. Many of us are feeling like we have had said swords impaled. We feel really tied up. Energies aren't flowing. We're just, well, he looks wired, right? Look at his eyes. We're feeling that. I'm not entirely sure which folklore that is, but we're definitely got that chaotic kind of energy. The Seven of Swords. This week, we're going to get to kind of the heart of why we're feeling that. We're trying to get away with way too much. We're doing way too much. And we're not being honest with ourselves. This week, we're going to see that honesty come fast and furious. We're going to feel it in more ways than one, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, right, it's what it is. Our natural consequences of not paying attention, following that ego fluffy puffiness, and not being true to that heart song. When we need that time, it's really important that we do take it for ourselves, because if not, this gets worse. Because our physical, emotional, and spiritual selves, they're connected. When one teeters, they all fall. So this can easily kind of transcend into something more unless you start to be accountable for you to you. Because without that, you're going to find that, well, it gets harder, faster. Okay. Still have that weird kind of dry throat from when my daughter got everyone sick like weeks ago. It's crazy. Let's go in to the beginning of the week. What can my friends expect from the beginning of the week? Good if my thumb got out of the way. But hey, it's a Friday morning. I don't know if you can hear my dog. Yeah, he too is having congestion issues. He's got a pushy, smoochy nose, so we hear him. Sometimes more than we can see him. So if you're ever listening to a video and you're hearing something lightly snoring in the background, which I do try and stop, it's my dog, because I have a tendency to put him to sleep. He enjoys when Mommy's doing meditations and readings. The 10 of Cups. This is where we're going to start to get real with ourselves. It's time to connect in and ask for the help that we need from those that can help us out the most, those close family and friends. Now, I've said this many times. Family does not always mean that nuclear birth family, because sometimes they're not the ones who are going to provide support. They're going to add more to our plate. These are the people in our lives, whether they're part of our friend circle, professional circle, so we need extra help, our community. It's going to be able to help us to really nurture that emotional state, because a lot of this is emotion. This pent up burden is more emotional than actual physical. Like I said, it's connected. So when one falls, the other does as well. So really connecting into that emotion, helping with that nurture, that care, and compassion. It's going to help you take accountability for you, because the 7 of Swords, it does talk about somebody trying to get away with something. It's not someone trying to pull the wool over your eyes. It's just you haven't been honest with you, and it's catching up. How fantastic. So we have the Star. It's the 17th card in the Major Arcana, and we look at those hopes and dreams. Part of this being accountable for you and being honest with you is looking at not only what you're trying to do for you and others, but also where is it that you want to go? What is it that's going to bring that fulfillment and joy to you? Many times we're taught we have to get that house, get the car, get the job, get the thing, get the thing, get the thing. But after a while, it gets repetitive and monotonous, and we lose sight of what's really important, what brings us that joy and happiness that fills our cup. So looking at and taking some time this week, especially at the beginning of the week, to reflect in what's important. What's important to you? What fills your cup? Additionally, the star talks about being balanced. Now, she kind of talks about it here, the creator. The lady here has one foot in the water and she's sitting on the land. This card, historically, Pamela Coleman Smith drew the maiden. She's kneeling on the water. She's got her leg arched, and then she's got one knee on the land. It talks about kind of keeping that balance even when it's a struggle. She's also she has 2 vessels of water, pouring some water into the water source and then onto the land. We need to be mindful of where those energies are going, which also talks about those expectations and demands. Where are we putting our energy? Where are we trying to go? Helping to align that. Our family, our friends, our support team, they're going to help us build up emotionally, give us that TLC we need, give us that support we need. We need to take that support and we need to start to really apply it to us and where it is we want to go. So lots of work at the beginning of the week on really trying to untangle self and start to be accountable to you. So the accountability starts, like, I would start now. Why wait? Because if you start now, it's not going to be so much of a, oh, I've got to do that I don't have the time. Start now. Take it slow. That's why I start, like I said at the beginning, I give you guys the time. We know this is coming up. We know that we're feeling this already. So take that time. Start now. Start looking at connecting in with your family, your supports, looking at giving your self some time, sitting down over the weekend in the morning with your cup of tea or your coffee, getting out a piece of paper, being real with you. And when I say be real with you, don't be critical and like beating self up. Just look into it. All right, let's go into the middle of the week and pluck a card. Face up. Oh, there's face up. The middle of the week. Is there anything more that we can share with my friends? Sometimes the deck's just like, no, this card. I prefer them to keep it on the table. Sometimes they get so excited. So this card decided to take that leap of faith. My camera doesn't want to work. There we go. The 7 of Cups. This is going to add to that burden, those expectations, that kind of heaviness that we're feeling, because the 7 of Cups talks about, well, the uncertainty, the fear. There's so many choices. What if I choose wrong? Those what ifs are going to kill you. Just so you know, they're going to overwhelm it and burden you. It's one of your tools that your ego uses to stop you from moving forward. Because if there's too many choices and we get anxious about it, we're not going to make a choice. And that in itself is a choice. So taking heart from what the beginning of the week has taught you, that rest, that rejuvenation, really working with our family and friends unit to support us on that mental health aspect, and being honest with you, where is it that you want to go? The more clear you are at the beginning of the week, the less challenge the 7 is going to be. And can I tell you, it's not so much a right or wrong choice. It's more, what are you going to learn and experience with that choice? Some things make life a little bit easier and it's a little bit, less bumpy. Some choices put you right into that bumpiness. And know that sometimes we have to hit those hard rocks to learn and to overcome certain things that we know we want to do. Things that we want to kind of do that check off and break patterns. Break patterns for stuff that we've learned in this lifetime, in past lifetimes, stuff our family on our DNA thing, the thingy, that we're carrying. That helix, that's the word. Thank you. It's been a Friday morning. So we do have opportunities with all choices. We, however, as humans, were like, no, we're extremists. It's either right or wrong. Why? Where did we learn that? So the middle of the week, we are going to have lots of possibilities and opportunities come forward because we're looking at that, not necessarily shift, but understanding. We're going to have a better, clearer understanding of where it is we want to go because we're taking some time to look in and be honest with self. Like I said, you don't have to wait to the beginning of next week. You don't have to stress and go, I'm going to do it all on Sunday morning because that's overwhelming. Take it and start now. You know what? Take it and say, okay, it's Friday night. Maybe I'll go and have drinks with my friends. Maybe I will go have dinner with my family. Whoever that support is, connect in with them because it's going to help, especially in the middle of the week, especially as we go forward. Now, I know that sometimes family and friends, they're more takers than givers and they don't understand. If you need to connect in with community, doing it now is better because you need to book in appointments. You need to make sure that support is there. However that support looks, reach out now is all I'm going to say because it does make things less heavy and you're not going to feel that spiky bit of the sword. I know it can be hard to ask for the help. I get it. I'm not a good asker. However, you will find that it does help alleviate some of that mental health stuff we're dealing with, and it will help you with that reflection because they can possibly give you insight. And always, like always, with other people giving you information, you need to take time. You need to take time to reflect on it. Is it something for you? Or is it just something that they have been learned or taught that is important to them? And it's part of that 7 of Swords. Because in the middle of the week, we have some options and some choices to make. And yes, that fear and doubt will be there. Let's go on to the end of the week. See what the end of the week is going to bring, my friends. Oh, come on, guys. Like, seriously? Oh, yep. We'll start with the card that hit the floor. It's funny. I've done a number of readings with this deck already, and it's the first time they're hucking the cards on the floor. So we'll start with this one. You can see why it hit the floor. The 5 of Coins, the 5 of Pentacles. Does talk about that isolation, that kind of feeling disconnection, kind of left out in the cold, right? And you'll notice that most of the time this card has something to do with a storm because that's the energy of the 5. You feel cold and you feel icky. So we know that this is going to really aggravate. Anytime you do some healing, some releasing, some reflection, our ego is like, no, I'm going to bring in that sadness and fear. And you're going to feel even more disconnected. Things are going to gush rather than trickle. So no, at the end of the week, it's not like, oh, I feel better now. Look, it's dead. It's going to be like, okay, I'm going to work on self. I'm going to make some plans. And then your ego is going to go, bleh. No, you've got this. No, and this is why I do this a couple days ahead so you guys can start to plan. The end of the week, you are going to need your tools. You are going to need your releasing tools. You're going to need your stabilization and grounding tools because the stuff you're carrying and the stuff, the fear, that doubt, the pain, it's going to come full force. And then to make things just kind of cherry on top, anytime we have that kind of flood of negative or positive emotion, people on the outside reflect it back to us. So we already feel crappy. What's going to happen? People are going to make us feel worse. And it's going to suck. So that protection is going to be needed as well. Remember, biggest thing, breathe, my friends. Just breathe. Long, deep breaths. That helps us to stay in control and stay up here. It helps us to say, okay, this is fear. This is pain. Labeling it helps you to identify the problem. It doesn't make it easier. You're like, okay, this pain sucks. It's pain, right? That was a hard situation I had to overcome. People are being mean to me, whatever it may be, whatever the trigger catalyst is. I'm not going to hold on to it. Making conscious choices helps to really, release and to keep you in control of you. So when this happens, what I want you to do is make sure that you're not packing your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that type thing, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever, into lots of stuff. Bring it apart. Space it so that you're not overwhelmed. And then give yourself permission to excuse yourself when things are getting hard. So you're removing yourself from a situation or event. Go to a running water source, run your hands underwater. This trick can help keep you in control of you. So you're not going, you're going, I got this. Visualize that chaos, that prickle, the pain, whatever it may be, out. Okay. I do have meditations, really quick ones in my short and sweet meditative playlist that can help. Okay. I created that short and sweet meditative playlist because we need tools on the fly. We don't always have 20 minutes, a half an hour to do a great meditation. We're like, I feel good. You're like, I've got 5 minutes before I have to go to a meeting. And then you're like, In my short and sweet, they're under 10 minutes long. And speaking of that, Tuesday, you guys will get a protection meditation. It's ready to roll. It's, I think, 9 minutes long with intro and exit. So that can help. That's really going to help beef up you at the end of the week because it's an energetical protection. So win-win for you and anybody else. Over the next couple of months, I really want to look at beefing up that short and sweet tools because we do need that help. End of the week, I would also recommend grounding crystals if you're a crystal person. Of course, my favorite, and I have, and my kids have, so they don't steal mine, is tiger iron. This one's really red, but and shiny. Unfortunately, I use a lot of polished crystals because I use crystals in my healing. And the rough, raw crystals, as pretty and natural as they are, can be hard on the skin and not so conducive for healing. So anyway, so I like tiger iron, IRON. It's got the red and black because it's got hematite, it's got red jasper and tiger iron in it, or tiger eye in it. So it really helps with that grounding. If you can't find that, any black, any red crystal will help. You need that grounded stability. So not only will the breathing help you, but you're going to be able to use those tools to overcome that challenge. Because, like I said, people are going to reflect that sad, painful, fearful energy back at you. Should have turned this card too. This is the 5 of Swords. If my camera would stop mucking about, which really talks about what I've been talking about. I started with the 5 of Pentacles because all the information came. I didn't even think to turn the other card over. So my bad. But know that the end of the week is going to be hard. It's going to be very challenging to stay controlled. However, with breath, you will be able to do it. With intention, you'll be able to do it. With using your tools, you'll be able to do it. Now, I think the reason why I have the double 5 is because the angels want to remind you that with that multiple 5, that positive things are coming your way. Don't give up. In tarot, 5 and usually oracle, 5s are really confrontational. They like to challenge us. Okay, we don't like to be challenged as a species. We're like, no, I'm going to be my toddler, and no, don't challenge me. The angels are telling you that, yeah, it might be hard, but keep going. You've got this, especially if you are the one who is maintaining up here. You're using that frontal cortex, you're planning, you're thinking, you're creating. And you have that ability to push past that pain, push past this barrier that is there. All right, let's look at what else is going to help you. Because I'm a big person. I'm a huge person. I like to make sure you guys have the supports you need to really get what you want done, right? There's a lot of really great movement in this week, helping you to really align those stars to get the support you need and release some of this baggage and yuck we're holding, because we're all holding it. And nobody from, it seems, and it's weird, when I've done healings and stuff like that with clients, I've noticed that a lot of people haven't been able to release the stuff from Mercury being in retrograde. Even though we did have kind of a little bit of a plateau before the veil started to thin, we just didn't re-enter nicely. It was like there's turbulence of some sort. So it's going to be important that we do have time now, making it for ourselves before things get harder, because some of us really struggle with the thinning of the veil. Yeah, the black cat, just because we needed to make sure that I talked about the thinning veil. Lost magic, atonement, and rebalance. Well, we are really needing to atone ourselves and attune ourselves to, well, what we've done to ourselves. It's not like other people have done this to us. We have created this, whether it be through conditioning of family and friends, but these are choices that we've made. We need now to look at what is going to be more in balance and in tune with what we want. And some of us need to do a lot of reflection on what it is we want. It's sad, a time to say goodbye. Sometimes it's about, or something is about to end for now. And that's a piece. Because when you're looking at releasing some of the stuff that you're trying to get away with, some of it you might need eventually. It goes back almost to the 7 of Cups, where you're looking at choices. Well, if we're not quite done with some of this stuff, we may revisit it again. Okay. So know that it may be a valid piece later on, depending on what you're trying to release, what you're trying to get done. And I just realized when I said the 7 of Cups, we do have double 7s. Well, 7s in angel messages are all about luck. They're telling you, again, something positive is coming forward. And I think that is a good reminder that even sometimes when things are hard, it is worth that work. It's work, unfortunately, only you can do for you. This is a very poignant card. Little Red Riding Hood. I love her look. She's like, bring it on. Because she says, I am not a victim. That pity party, that in itself can be a challenge to overcome. It can be really almost as hard as what we're trying to do originally, because, well, we like to play victim. We like that pity party. We get attention sometimes when we do that, especially from our supports who don't want to see us struggling. So again, it's about that accountability to self. This week is all about you working with you more efficiently. And that's a big skill that we will keep revisiting, because as we go forward, we change. Our needs change. And this star, just like stars above us, they shift and move in the sky. So should our direction. Nothing in life should be stagnant and just stuck, because that in itself will cause the tower to come in and, well, crack that stuckness. And really nobody has time for that. It's not ever a fun thing. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes we need that little scooch in the butt. But no, this week is all about you holding you accountable. Please remember, don't be mean to self. This is not about being cruel and unusual to you. It's about using your head. We've got a lot of swords here, guys. It's about using here. that critical thinking, just not overcritical. Taking that step back and looking at it as if you were reading a book or trying to write a book. This character, that person, this is what they've dealt with. This is what they're doing. What should they do to get out of it? That's going to help you with some of those ahas. It's going to help you reflect into where you want to go, right? Where is it that this character should go? And then in the middle of the week, you're going to see some of those opportunities start to come forward because you're going to have a clear understanding of you. Unfortunately, your ego will step in, as it does, to try and slow you down. Use your tools. You've got them. I've got lots of supports on this channel because weeks like this come up where you're challenging you in a good way. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope that this helped you to really get prepared for next week because you've got a lot of opportunities here. If you did like this session, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as it helps people find me on the sea of YouTube. More importantly, if you haven't subscribed and you haven't hit that little red bell, do so. I've got more supports, more tools, more guidance and education coming forward. You don't want to miss any of it. Also, if you're looking for a little bit of extra support, I do have a Patreon and Ko-fi page where there is that added layer of support. I provided links below. They're both the same, but you can check them out. They're another way you can help you out. Again, I want to thank you guys, and I hope that you guys get done what you guys need to get done next week. Until tomorrow, my friends. Doggo.